to my morning report chart analysis videos on Monday the 18th of September with me, Richard Perry, market analyst at Hantec Markets. We've got an interesting development in markets. We've seen an improvement in risk sentiment in the last sort of few days really, and I'll show you how this is being driving through the markets with the treasury yields in the States, which are sharply higher. And that 10-year Treasury has now broken a downtrend, and that's interesting because we've started to see the market sort of turning around on the safe haven plays. The gold price is lower, the yen is lower, both are underperforming markets, and certainly seems as though there's been a change of sentiment, and you can see that coming through. Also, equity markets with Wall Street climbing to all-time highs again, and it's interesting that we've seen a bit of a recovery in the dollar. Not a huge amount, but a recovery nonetheless. Is that going to continue higher? I think that will be the main theme as the market develops this week. Obviously, we've got the FOMC meeting on Wednesday. That will be a key factor as the week progresses. Now, what we are looking at is as I said, the yen underperformance, so dollar yen higher, but also sterling is just unwinding a little bit today, not a huge amount, about 50 ticks down. I say not a huge amount because in the context of the last few days, about 370 ticks, I think, was the gains that we saw on Thursday and Friday. So just unwinding that to a certain extent, but still nothing majorly to the downside yet. Now, we've also seen equity markets performing strongly, DAX outperforming again. Now you could argue that it's interesting that FTSE 100 isn't outperforming, because normally when you see sterling weakening, you see FTSE 100 performing well, but I think that improvement in risk sentiment is certainly helping to drive the DAX outperformance today. We're also seeing gold, as I said, underperforming, and oil basically flat. So few themes to work on today. Now what we've got is not a lot this afternoon, but we've had the Eurozone final inflation data coming out this morning, and it was a mild upward revision on the core data to 1.3%. And that helped to stabilise the euro as well, so that's interesting. But this afternoon, not a huge amount, so I'll get that back. Not a huge amount this afternoon as we sort of look forward to the NAHB housing market index. That's only really the bit of data that could move markets. 67, just mildly unwinding from 68. But generally speaking, markets are fairly well set in terms of sentiment. Now, in terms of my chances this day, it's silver. I've been talking about gold that's sort of breaking down. We've also got silver. Silver and gold are both starting to really put pressure on their uptrend channels. Silver is breaking down. And this is coming as you've got the momentum indicators crossing lower on the MACD line, stochastics, RSI falling back towards 50. 1725 I would take as you sort of gauge really. If you saw that broken, then you really are looking much more corrective. As a sort of a 1725 was an old breakout that became supportive, so breaking back through that, back below that, that sort of puts the pressure onto the downside. You're also seeing consistent run of lower highs where you see the little rallies getting sold into. Friday's bear candle was a bearish outside day, so that again puts pressure on for today. To the downside, you're seeing the 21-day moving average, which had been supportive, now coming under pressure again. So all these are sort of pointing towards silver turning into a more corrective outlook, and certainly if it starts to close below that uptrend channel, which it looks like it will do today, then I think that is pressure on to the downside. You'd start thinking about the next real support levels at 1680. Was the support through late August, and then that key reaction low at 1655. But 1725 initial key support. Just generally speaking on the hourly chart, negative configuration. Hourly RSI failing at 60, moving back to 30. Hourly MACD lines now crossing down back under around that neutral point, so certainly is pressure on. Little rallies are being sold into, and so Friday's high 1785 is key resistance near term, but I'd expect to see another lower high but below that. So I wish you good luck in your trading today, and I will speak to you later. Thank you.